So some of my friends have been complaining about the difficulty of my game, The Shepherd's Rock. They say the levels are too hard. Some have even claimed that there are impossible levels. Well, this is simply not true. And to prove this to you, I'm going to beat almost all the levels within the next 4 minutes. I'm going to beat every level in the game except the expert levels, which actually are really difficult. So the trick to level 7 is you have to remove a rock so that the sheep don't get trapped. Right now I'm going through the Android version of the game. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, you may notice that some of the levels are slightly different. The reason for this is that the random number generator in the iPhone and in the Android are actually different. Now we're coming up on level 14. The critical thing here is the first move. If you don't get that rock there, sheep will die. Now that we've finished all the easy levels, on to the medium levels. Now this is the first level with the blob monster. The thing I love about the blob monster is if you make like one little mistake, leave one little crack open, it gets through and eats everything. Now let me explain the behavior of the animals. All the sheep try to do is get as far away from the predators as possible, and all the predators do is try to get as close to the sheep as possible. If there are two equally good options, they randomly choose between them. That's why the levels are slightly different between the Android and the iPhone, because the random number generators are different. So yeah, neither the predators or the sheep are very bright. Sometimes the wolves will just follow a single sheep into a perfect trap and just leave the entire flock wide open. Sometimes you try to make this nice, safe place for the sheep, but it doesn't look safe to the sheep. They don't realize that in a few moves it's going to be perfectly good, so they won't go into this nice little home you've created for them. A lot of people have had trouble with level 11. What you need to do is you need to remove 2 rocks to split up the sheep so that the wolf can only catch one of them. One useful strategy is to intentionally trap your own sheep. The wolf will follow the sheep into the trap and he'll get caught too. This is the last medium level, on to the hard levels. Alright, now we're finally getting to some levels that are a little more challenging. So level 4 is hard. What you need to do is remove a rock right there, then go back and forth protecting the upper left and bottom right until all the sheep are safe. On each level you can get 1, 2, or 3 stars. So 3 stars is basically the highest score I was able to get when I released this game. When I made this video, I discovered that some of the levels were too easy. You can get better than 3 stars on some of them. Now the expert levels, I tried to make them as hard as possible. Basically, I played every level for like half an hour, and I tried to find levels where you had to come up with some incredibly complicated solution to try to save as many sheep as possible. And those are the expert levels. Once you beat these levels, hopefully without using this video, I highly recommend trying the endless mode. In endless mode, you get a series of randomly generated levels. And it's hard because you can't keep going back to the same level and analyzing it to death. You just have to deal with whatever it throws at you. If you do well in one level, you'll have points added to your reserve. If you do poorly, you'll have points taken away. The levels get harder and harder until they're very difficult, and then you just try to see how long you can last. And there you have it. This is the last level. All my friends who said the game was too difficult are just lazy. They haven't spent the time and effort required to master a truly complex game